Hi, and thank you so much for tuning in to the Math Social. Today, we're going to practice graphing equations that are already in slope-intercept form. Okay, here we go. Our first example today is going to be y equals 3x plus 5. And you always want to make sure your equation is in slope-intercept form. And what that means is we want there to be the y, the equal sign, and then we want a number and then the variable x. Sometimes there won't be a number there and it will just say x, and that just means there's a secret 1 out in front, and we'll do an example like that soon. And then you want a plus or minus sign, and then you want another number. And sometimes this other number is 0, so you might see plus 0, but plus 0 wouldn't change anything, so sometimes you won't even see this part, okay? So, and I'll show you an example like that too. So for this problem, a scenario that would go with it would be like, I have $5 in my pocket. Each hour I make $3 more. So what we are going to do first is we are going to graph this number. This is called the y-intercept. It is where this line crosses the y-axis. So I'm going to start here at my origin, and I'm going to count up positive 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm going to put a little point. That just means that this line is going to cut through the y-axis at 5, okay? This number out here, that is called my slope. And the first thing I like to do is I like to change that number into a fraction. So if we changed the number 3 into a fraction, we would have 3 over 1, right? 3 wholes is equivalent to the number 3. So the top number, that is going to tell you how much you rise up. And then this bottom number, the denominator, that is going to tell you how many units you run. Rise over run. Okay, so I have my marker right here, and I am going to rise 3, 1, 2, 3, and I am going to run 1. Sometimes I like to do one more point just so I can make a really straight line. So here I am at this point. I'm going to rise 3 again, 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to run 1. So you can see I'm starting to get a straight line here. So I am just going to take my ruler and connect my points. Then at the end of each line, you can always put an arrow, and that just means your line technically goes on in both directions without ever stopping. And if you think of the scenario that I said earlier, I start with $5 in my pocket. Every hour that goes by, I get $3 more. So this would be like another hour goes by, oh, my line goes up 3. Another hour goes by, oh, my line goes up 3 more. Let's do another one. Here is my next equation. It's very similar to the one we just did. Y equals negative 3x plus 5. And I know my equation is in slope-intercept form because I have y, then the equal sign, then a number, then my variable x, and then plus or minus another number. So if you remember from last time, we are going to take this number and we are going to plot it on the y-axis. That is a positive 5. So I'm going to start here at my origin, and I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just like last time, and I'm going to put a point there. Now, the difference between this equation and the last equation is this is a negative 3. So this would be like I have $5 in my pocket and I spend $3 an hour. So pretty soon I am going to run out of money and start going in debt if I keep spending that money. So let's see what this line looks like. Negative 3 as a fraction is going to equal negative 3 over 1. Now, instead of rise over run, we are going to go down. We are not going to rise. And the reason is because there is a negative sign out here. And if you think about the scenario I just talked about, you are losing money. So the line is going to go down. So right here, instead of going up to the right, I am going to go down to the right. Okay, so I'm going to count 3 units. 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to go over 1. This number down here tells you how many units you're going to go right. I'm going to do that one more time. Down, 1, 2, 3, to the right 1. And now you can see the line starting to form, so I am just going to draw it. I'm going to put arrows on each end of my line to show that it goes on and on forever in both directions. And if you think about the story I told you, each hour that we move over, I am losing $3. So an hour goes by, I am now down 3. Another hour goes by, I'm starting to get in debt. And if I continue the pattern of spending $3 every hour when I only started off with $5, I am just going to keep going down, 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 down in debt. So this line has a negative slope going down, whereas the last one we did had a positive slope and I was going up. Let's keep going. Okay, here is my next equation. Y equals 3/2 x minus 1. I know it's in slope-intercept form. It says y equals a number and then the variable x and then plus or minus a number. So this number, just like the last couple problems, that is where our line is going to cross our y-axis. So I know it's going to cross down here at -1. Okay, here's 0, down 1, that would be -1. This one is our slope, and we don't have to change it into a fraction because it already is a fraction, and it's positive. So we are going to do what we did with the first problem, and we are going to go up to the right. So I'm going to go up 3, 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to go to the right 2, 1, 2, and I'm going to put a point. Then I'm keeping my marker there, and I'm going to do it again. Go up 3, 1, 2, 3, over 2, 1, 2. A scenario that would fit this would be I am $1 in debt, and every hour I make $1.50. So my line is going to go up. Let me trace it. Again, I am going to put arrows on the ends of my lines to show that they go on and on forever in both directions. So each time I'm going over, I'm going up 3 over 2, up 3 over 2. It's growing and growing and growing. This line has a positive slope up to the right. Let's do another. Here we have the example y equals -x plus 2. So we are going to do the same thing. We are going to start at 2 on our y-axis. So I'm going to start at my origin and go up to 1, 2, and I'm going to put a point. Now, lots of people get confused about this. Technically, you don't see a number out in front of that x, but we could put the number 1 and it wouldn't change anything. So whenever you don't see a number, just know in your head that the number is 1. Okay, now I'm going to think, how would I write -1 like a fraction? Well, -1 is equal to -1 over 1. And this negative sign right here is going to tell me I'm going to go down to the right instead of up to the right. Okay, so I'm going to go down 1 over 1, put a point. Down 1 over 1, put a point. Now that I have at least 3 points, I know where to make my line. Now I'm going to put arrows on the end of my line just to show they go on and on forever. A story problem that would go with this would be like, I have $2 and I spend $1 every hour. So each hour that goes by, my line is going to go further down because I just keep spending money. This line has a negative slope. It goes down to the right. Let's do another one. Here we go. We have an equation that's already in slope-intercept form. I am going to start at -2 on my y-axis. So I'm going to start at my origin and count 2, 1, 2, and put a point. This is already in a fraction and it's positive. So I'm going to go rise over run, and I'm going to go up to the right. So I'm going to go up 1 unit, which would put me here, and then I'm going to go to the right 3 units. 1, 2, 3, and I am going to put a point. I'm going to do it again, up 1 over 1, 2, 3. A scenario that would go with this would be like, I am in debt $2, and every hour I make $1/3 of a dollar, or 33.3 cents. So very slowly, if I'm only making 33 cents an hour, my line is going to go up, but very slowly. Okay, let's connect our points to make a straight line. I'm going to put arrows on the end to show it goes on and on forever. This line has a positive slope. As we look to the right, it's going to go up. The slope is not very big. It's only 1/3, so it's going to make money really slowly, but it is still a positive slope. Okay, we're almost done. I just want to show you 2 more examples that you might see, but not too frequently. Here is our equation, y equals 4x, and you might notice that we are not plusing or minusing, adding or subtracting another number. So when that happens, you just want to remember that number would be 0, okay? We could go like this if we want, if this makes more sense, and this would tell us that we would start right here at the origin at 0. Now, our second step is going to take this number, this is the slope, and we are going to turn it into a fraction. So the number 4 is equivalent to the fraction 4 over 1, 4 wholes. And this is telling me I'm going to go up 4 to the right 1 because it's positive. Okay, so I'm going to start here and I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 over 1. 1, 2, 3, 4 over 1. I'm going to go ahead and draw my line. This line would be like, I don't have any money and I make $4 an hour. So we start at 0 and we go up 4 units each hour. Because this line goes through the origin and it's a straight line, this line is also considered proportional. Okay, let's do one last example. Our last example is y equals 7, and you will see these every so often. So this line actually has a slope of 0. I could write it just like this. This line here and this line here mean the same thing. So let me show you what we do. The first thing we're going to do is start at 7. That is our y-intercept. So I'm going to start here at the origin and count up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and put a point. Now, we do not go up and we do not go over anything. This line is actually going to be a straight horizontal line like this. It's going to go perfectly like this. It means no matter what our x is, our y is always 7. A story problem to go with this would be like, I have $7 forever. $7 for the rest of my life. So our line is always going to go straight. As we go with hours, I'm still going to have $7. Oh, that'd be terrible, always to have $7. But that's what that line looks like. It has a slope of 0, so it's perfectly straight like this. Think of the ground. If there was no like hills or bumps in the road and we just had a perfectly smooth, flat ground, that ground would not have any slope to it. It would just be at 0. Kind of like this. So let me know if you have any questions. I hope this helped you when you're graphing lines in slope-intercept form. And don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe below. See ya!